Or what did you find so useful in AI? Let's talk about that first. I mean, your first encounter with AI.
Yeah, definitely. So, because of probably a lot, part of it has to do, with my background in technology. I've always loved technology. I've always embraced that quite a bit. So when ChatGPT first came out, I got really excited and dig deeper into it. And since then, I've been, utilizing AI for pretty much every aspect of the business that I can, as well as personal. Both, my wife and I, we have two boys, 17 and 20. They both very sufficient with AI, ChatGPT, and different AI tools. I made sure that all of my staff, my VAs, they all use, at a minimum, use ChatGPT on a everyday basis, even if it's just to help them, make a Facebook post or write an email or, create an infographic.
This is the Real Estate Vibe Show, and I'm your host, Vinki Loomba. As a real estate investor and a fund manager, I'm always excited to explore the world of real estate opportunities with you and for you. And today, I'm really excited because I have my very good friend, Tim Mai, with me. Welcome, Tim, to the Real Estate Vibe Show.
Thank you, Vinki. Yes, thanks for having me on here.
Awesome. So, a little bit about Tim. Tim is a Houston based real estate fund manager and an entrepreneur. From a challenging childhood to success in real estate world, Tim has acquired and exited over 50 million in real estate and partnered in 3,800 multifamily units. He's a founder of Hero Wealth Fund and the Team Millionaire Club. Tim is also a dedicated philanthropist. So we're gonna be learning a lot from Tim today. Today we have a very interesting topic we were discussing earlier before the recording. So how AI is transforming our world. We all know we are stepping into an infinite world, and AI is transforming the way we think, the way we do things. And if you have already incorporated AI or looking to incorporate AI in your work or life, you understand that it's one mind versus millions working together to solve a problem or give you some kind of solution. So in this episode, we'll discover how Tim is using AI to revolutionize his capital raising or his real estate investing, and also how is he streamlining his investor outreach to enhance his decision-making process. Tim, let me start this by asking you this question. If you can share with us a little bit background, how did you get started, or how did you come to United States? That's quite a story too. So let's hear about that.
Yeah, definitely. And I'll give you the quick version. The short
Okay.
version, because the long version can be quite long. But if you ever heard of the term Vietnamese boat people, I'm one of those. What it means is that it's a group of people that, after the war ended in 1975, and the communist government took over, they had to escape out of Vietnam. Because if they stay in Vietnam, it could be like in my case, my dad, he was in the military on the U.S. side, and so they were, capturing all of those people and put them in like camps, right? And so yeah, my whole family tried to escape out of Vietnam a number of times, but wasn't successful. And one time, like, the whole family got put in jail. And then in 1986, I was 11. My oldest brother turned 18, and my back then, when you turn 18, it's an automatic draft into the communist military. And so my parents wanted him to be able to get out of Vietnam, escape out of Vietnam. He asked if I wanted to come along. As a little kid, I didn't know any better, so I was like, sure, I'll come along. We always, like, we never could make it out, so we always go back home anyways. So it's like, sure, I'll come along. And yeah, so my brother and I got on a little fishing boat. And we floated out at sea for 7 days and 6 nights. um, and we got a Malaysian boat rescue us, took us to the Malaysian refugee camp. And so we spent 6 months Malaysian refugee camp, 6 months in the Philippines refugee camp, and then the U.S. accepted us and let us come here to the U.S. Back then, because the U.S. was very open to young kids, right? And since we were right there underage, so yeah, so my brother and I moved to the U.S. Moved here to Houston, just the two of us without our parents. We live in Section 8 housing back then. It's funny, Vinky, because some of the apartment complexes that we go look at now looks just look just like the ones we were at back in those days. And yeah, we had to do whatever it takes, to survive and make a living. My brother was out selling flowers because he didn't speak in English when we first came. He was out selling flowers. He was doing odd jobs to make us through, to get us through. And I can remember like so many days I come home from middle school, open up the refrigerator, and there's literally nothing to eat but a bottle of tap water that we put in there so we can have something cold to drink. And so yeah, so we adopted some other runaway kids and gangs that live at our house, at our apartment for free because we got it very inexpensively. So at any given time, there were like 8 to 12 other kids pretty much living with us. And yeah, and luckily we got out of that environment, and I was able to finish high school. Doing college, I got recruited by an IT company. This is during the dot-com days. So I moved to Dallas to work for that company, and you all know what happened doing after dot-com. The dot bus came, and so yeah, I got laid off from the company. The whole company went belly up, so everybody in the company got laid off.
Uh, that's
Um,
a That's quite a journey, actually, if I'm going to stop you here for a second,
yeah,
coming from Vietnam all the way to US and then having been rescued by Malaysian government and then coming to US and being accepted here and starting from ground zero. Basically, you just survive all through this timeline. So I wanted to dwell into that a little bit more, if I may. When you started from home, you said your brother decided to come to US, and then he asked you if you wanted to join him without thinking, little kid. How old were you at that time?
I was 11.
11, right? So not knowing much, you said yes, you wanted to go along on this journey, thinking about that, oh, it's going to be a long boat ride. So when you got onto the boat for this long voyage, so what was going on in your mind? Because you have multiple experiences. So I'm going to hear about that, how your mindset got shifted, even 11, you were
Right.
aware enough to understand what's going on with you and your brother and what you're getting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, during that whole period from 1975 until when all the refugee camps got shut down in 1992, during that period, it was very common that people from Vietnam would try to escape out. So I grew up with the idea of, it would be great if we can get out of the country. Um, and so yeah, so I was actually excited to to be able to get out. We didn't know, obviously we didn't know what awaits us beyond getting out, but other than just, hey, we don't want to live in this country and we want to get out. There, now the, on the boat, what I haven't shared, so we got hijacked by 5 private boats during our trip at sea. And these are Thai fishermen that, when they hijack your boat, they'll rape the woman, throw the man off the boat, and then take whatever valuables that they can. So it's a pretty dangerous trip. Um, I didn't know how dangerous it is. As a kid, I didn't know until I got to the refugee camp and hear all of the stories about what happens when you try to escape like that. Like I'll show my brother who I came with, his wife's family. his dad and two brothers die in the process of escaping out of Vietnam. And so it's a very dangerous scenario to be in. But because I was so young, for me, it was just like, it was more of an adventure, I think, than to be fearful for my death at that time.
But did you, I mean, when you heard this horror stories or when you got under the boat and your boat was hijacked, what was that like? Did you feel like, oh my God, I am trapped, I got into something as a little kid too, because your mind
Yeah,
is just like working at the exponential level at that time, because the way you view the world is totally different. Because it's
yeah.
very less limitations. If you had the limitations, if you had those patterns, you wouldn't even have come. So you came because you had no barriers, no limitations. Like, okay, I'm gonna go because you grew up with this mindset that I'm gonna leave the country, I'm gonna free myself from all the bondage. So that's what I'm coming to. So if you can share that with.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it definitely was very scary when they hijacked our boats, and because me and the woman, we were laying underneath I guess the front part of the boat, and the boat was very small. It wasn't. There was 37 of us. It's a small fishing boat. Me and the woman were laying like sardines next to each other underneath the boat. My brother and the other men, they were sitting by the engine and like scooping out water because the boat had a small leak in it. And so when the pirates like got all of us and stripped all of us down to find whatever valuable they can, it was a scary time. Um, now, you know, I don't know what happened in the process, but something happened that my most of my memories from before I left Vietnam, I don't remember. So most of my memories now as an adult came after I left Vietnam. So I'm pretty sure it was a drastic time, but I think that subconsciously my mind blocks out those memories. So yeah.
Yeah, might
Yeah.
have been so bad. But thanks for sharing that. So let's get back to your journey. So, this is commendable job, first of all, coming from Vietnam, having this, horrible, horrible experience with the boat ride with the brother, and then struggling to survive. And then you were in the survival mode. And at the same time, when you were in the survival mode, you were helping other kids around you, which is really commendable, and just like you were giving out. And that's the reason you're getting a lot more back now. And then going through all that, and then you got your IT degree, and then you became IT professional, and then real estate. So talk about that. How did you end up?
Yeah. Yeah. So after I got laid off, I was forced to figure out what am I going to do next. At that time, IT jobs were very hard to find, after the dot-com bust. And so I went to the to the bookstore back then when Barnes and Noble and Borders bookstores were still popular. I went to the bookstore and just read up on what kind of business I can start. One of the very first books that I came across was Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad Poor Dad, and then also Robert Allen, Nothing Down, which teaches about how to buy real estate with no money down. Because at that time I didn't really have much money, um, and yeah, and so those two books kind of got opened my eyes to the world of entrepreneurship, the world of real estate, and so I moved back to Houston, and then started my real estate investing in the single family home side. I've done a lot of fix and flips, wholesaling, landlording on the single family home side, and that has been 22 years now.
Nice and nice. And now you're stepping into the infinite world with AI, and you're having a huge conference as well on AI. What did you find so useful in AI? Let's talk about that first. I mean, your first encounter with AI.
Yeah, definitely. So, because of probably a lot, part of it has to do, with my background in technology. I've always loved technology. I've always embraced that quite a bit. So when ChatGPT first came out, I got really excited and dig deeper into it. And since then, I've been, utilizing AI for pretty much every aspect of the business that I can, as well as personal both, my wife and I, we have two boys, 17 and 20. They both very sufficient with AI, ChatGPT, and different AI tools. I made sure that all of my staff, my VAs, they all use at a minimum use ChatGPT on a everyday basis, even if it's just to help them, make a Facebook post or write an email or, create an infographics or, an article. Um, I do a lot of YouTube videos, or even coming up with the script for the video, we use AI for that. And so yeah, I mean, it's I don't think there's any day that goes by that I'm not using AI in some form of fashion. And I've been sharing with like the people I've been sharing with about AI. I tell them it this way. I go, if you want to get more productivity out of anything that you do, before you do that thing, ask yourself, how can I have AI help me with this?
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, it's the usage for it, is unlimited, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said. We are stepping into infinite world. I should say it the other ways, world of infinite possibilities, which was already there. We did not know, but with this AI now, we can see that because, like I mentioned earlier, one mind versus millions of minds doing the same thing for you in less time. So let's talk about that before we dig deep into AI. Let's talk about branding and positioning because you have done commendable job positioning yourself in the market, and you are a known face in the real estate industry now, and you have created a big buzz around you. So I wanted to talk about marketing and branding because a lot of times we get confused. A lot of people, they get confused between the marketing and branding. What we don't realize is what branding is. Branding is all about you, who you are, right? So you have to
Mhm.
know yourself and project yourself out to the world. And that there's going to be a lot of people, billions, trillions, who are looking for the person like you because you're emitting their energy. So we are all energy, we are vibrating a certain wavelength, we are attracting our wavelength. Those people are going to be attracted towards you. So you created something similar to that. So if you can share with me, what was your strategy to create that buzz and creating that effective branding for yourself?
Yeah, definitely. So, as I mentioned earlier, after I got laid off, right, I started in real estate investing. So I've been a business owner now for over 22 years. And throughout that journey, I get to learn a lot about branding and marketing and sales, all of that skill set that it takes to survive in business.
That's true.
Uh, and yeah, so coming into the multifamily syndication industry, I knew that if I'm gonna get very far in this business, I have to position myself as an industry leader. And through my journey as a business owner, I figured out a hack, and it's a hack that all of us as human beings in today's world, we have been brainwashed for at least 12 years of our lives to see our teachers and as an authority, as someone that we would trust. And so knowing that hack, I knew that I needed to position myself as an educator, as as a leader. And yeah, so so I came out, and I wanted to learn about this business as quickly as I can, but at the same time position myself as an educator. So I decided to interview. So I started a Facebook group, which being a Facebook group owner puts you in a leadership position. I started my weekly virtual meetup, and interview other top experts in the industry. So even though I'm not the one who is teaching the content, because I'm interviewing other experts, I get to share in on that credibility. So being that facilitator, that host, also gave me that credibility as an authority. And yeah, so you mentioned branding, marketing. Yeah, branding has a lot to do with that thinking process of how do you want to position yourself, how do you want to be known, what do you want to be known for. So all of that positioning is branding. And Vinki, you also mentioned about branding is all about you. And it's, yeah, people who don't invest into your company, they invest in you. Your company is just a vehicle in which they're doing business with, but they're really doing business with you, right? And so it's, like, uh, knowing how you want to be positioned and how you want the marketplace to see you. And then marketing is all of the tactical stuff that you do, right? Like, whether you have a YouTube channel or a podcast like this, or newsletters, or, LinkedIn posts, Facebook posts, articles, blogs. All of those are the tactical stuff that, which is the marketing part of it. Yeah.
That's true. And you're basically creating an omnipresence. That's what I would call it, with all these different channels. But before that, doing all that marketing efforts, you need to brand yourself. And branding is all about you, who you are, and then how you're projecting to the world. So that's what it is. And then you created a big buzz around you, like I use it. So like more like a buzz marketing, right? So did you feel like, oh, how you have created so much chaos, so many people every week joining this capital raising party, from saying the name right, and then all these people are going into database. Did you feel like, oh my god, I'm just like feeling like I have created all this chaos now, how do I manage this? So basically my question to you is, how did you manage all that chaos, and how did you streamline everything that you have a mastermind now with 40 students already enrolled, paying, like, it's a big ticket item right there, and then trying to work together with you?
Yeah, so I came to the industry. I'm already an experienced business owner, and so I have a team, I have employees, and I have virtual assistants that help. So that, obviously that's a huge help. There's no way I could do it on my own.
I
But
know.
yeah, I'm when it comes to like teamwork and outsourcing and delegating, I've always been very big with that. I understand that as a business owner, um, I'm often the biggest bottleneck to my business. And so it's best if I just focus in on what I'm really good at, and then have others around me, whether they're employees or virtual assistants, or even business partners, um, to, like, for each of us to leverage each other's strengths, so that way we can individually do what we are really good at, and grow together that way. So yeah, so I'm huge on, partnerships, collaborations, outsourcing, delegations. Yeah.
You said it very well. Like, I'm my own enemy when it comes to your own organization, because a lot of time people think I can do it everything myself. Why do I need anybody? Because that's a bottleneck right there, right? And you mentioned like a really good thing, delegate, and use other people's strength. But using other people's strength is going to help you once you know your own strengths, because then you can align with the right people, and whatever the gaps are, you can mitigate the gaps. And it's not easy exercise either, right? Because a lot of people, they don't even know, they feel like I'm good at everything, and it's very hard to pick one or two, right? So did you have that struggle too, or you kind of knew from day one, okay, I'm good at this, I'm gonna run with this,
No, I mean,
and other
yeah,
people?
no, definitely I don't know from day one. And yeah, it's and it is a journey that all of us as business owners go through, to get better, and to know better what we're good at and what we're not good at. Yeah, I mean, I still take on, quite a bit myself, even when I have a lot of people around me that I can delegate to. But overall, I do know, like, being a visionary, marketing, is a really strong strength of mine. And so yeah, so now that I'm older, I think I don't tolerate, when I was younger, I would do more because I can tolerate, like, even if I'm not that great at it, I can do it, so I'll do it. But now that I'm older, it's like I don't have the patience to tolerate that anymore. So it's like, you know what? I just want to focus in on what I'm really good at and just do that. If I can do that, I'll be happy, and I'll enjoy my business, because I had a period of time in the 2008 market, and, when the real estate market crashed. I was doing a lot of fix and flips. When the market crashed, I had 30 houses, 30 plus houses in different stages of construction. And
Mhm.
overnight, there were no buyers for them. So I lost over $3 million in that crash. Yeah. And and so yeah, like that, been through the ups and downs like that, have me, know the importance of focusing on what I'm good at so I can enjoy the business, because I was so burned out back then going through what I went through. It took me a few years to recover from that, and recover from the burnout of that too.
And that's true. The sooner you realize it's all experience, whether good or bad, it's all experience, right? As long as you learn from it. See, either you succeed or you just fail, right? Failing is a next step in learning anyway. So you learn from
Yep.
it and you won't do the same thing again. And that's what you are right now. And now you're trying to incorporate AI in your business, which is pretty awesome because you know who you are. You created the branding for yourself. You know how to position yourself in the market. And then you're using all the marketing tools already. You know how to delegate, you know how to bring the right partners in, right? So you basically have all the pillars in place to go to the next level. That's the next level where you're going to bring in the AI into your work life. Because until all these pillars are in place is super hard. You can use ChatGPT, fine, but it's gonna again journey to get there, if you understand what I'm asking you. So share with me, what are you thinking or what you are already using, some of the tools and technologies in AI that's helping you like get to the
Yeah.
next
Yeah, definitely. So, ChatGPT is definitely the easiest one. This is the one I started with, is the easiest one to start with. All of my staff uses that on a daily basis. And then there's another competitor to ChatGPT called Claude.ai. And it's different from ChatGPT in that Claude is really good for content creation, creative writing. So anything that we're doing with, like, writing an article, writing a video script, we use Claude for that purpose. There's another tool called 11 Labs, which allows me to clone my voice,
time?
because I do a lot of YouTube videos. I'm able to and the yeah, so 11 Labs for the audio, and then Hey Gen for the video. So Hey Gen actually cloned my video, so it looks just like me, it sounds just like me. And so my team is able to get the script from Claude.ai, get my audio voice from 11 Labs, get my video from Hey Gen, put them all together and create videos that we can, put on our YouTube channel without me ever doing any of that stuff. So, in the last 2.5 months that we seriously took on this strategy, I have 70 something videos on my YouTube channel, and I personally recorded zero of those 70 something videos. It's
Yeah,
all
I did
AI.
one too. I did one with Hygen too, my YouTube video, my intro video.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't
Okay.
feel like it's not me. It's just like so original. It feels like it's me. My voice, the way I'm doing all the gestures, all me, but it's not me, it's AI. So AI is
Yeah.
a powerful tool out there. So are you using it mainly for the content creation management, or you're trying to do the investor attraction or something to do the investor outreach where you're using the AI tools? What tools are
Yeah.
there?
Yeah. So content is definitely the number one way we use it. We also use it to help us with appointment bookings as well. So when someone opts into our website, we do use AI to help warm up uh, that person, and inviting them to book a 15-minute call with us. So that's a bit more advanced way of using AI. We do use it for like data analysis if I need to, look through a set of data and whether to analyze it or to clean it up. Yeah, it's um, y- so even yesterday I needed to get some data from a Google search that I did. And so I use an AI tool that goes through and scrape the data and extract out just the information that I want to get from it.
Hmm.
And I didn't have to write any code, like zero code, to be able to do those things. Same thing with like graphics. A lot of time if we can't find the graphics we want or the pictures that we want, we'll use Mid-Journey to give it tell it what kind of pictures that we want, and it'll generate for us.
That's true. And a lot of applications are using AI anyways. It's kind of embedded in there. Maybe not at the extensive level like Midjourney or HeyGen or 11 Labs. These are the other external tools that you can use. Are you utilizing any AI tools for your capital raising? Because I know a lot of people, they are building this capital raising machine with AI. Do you have
Right.
some?
Well, obviously, the content that we're creating, the infographics. I'm writing two books right now. One book on capital raising, another book is on the benefit of passive investing in real estate. And the content, the content, it's a collaboration between me and the AI. So it's not completely me, it's not completely AI, but there's this collaboration that goes into it. So yeah, so because I'm using it to create content, writing this book, those content attract the passive investors. And so yeah, so that's how we're using in terms of like we're not using it to having an actual phone call with the investor and yeah, and then raise capital for us. That would be really cool when it's able to do that, but I think we're far from that right now. But we do also use it to underwrite deals as well, analyze data. Yeah. So those are the capacity that we're using it for.
So when you say you're using it for the underwriting or tracking the investors, content management, a lot of things is being done with AI, right? Do you
Hmm.
see any ethical concerns about it for the potential investors? Because the thing is, the reason I'm asking you this question is because we both have the technology background, and we know that how technology is growing exponentially, but our laws and regulations are laggards. They are like
Yeah.
run behind always, and there is always one way or the other. There's some, ethical issues with everything, whatever we do. Does that come to your mind ever? Like there could be something like that?
There could be, so for example, like our chat bot that chat with our investors, to get them to book a call. Uh, the bot introduced itself as my AI assistant. Now, if I did not program it to introduce itself as an AI assistant, it's very hard for the investor to know that it's not an AI.
Mm-hmm.
Like that, yeah, it sounds just like a normal human being. um and then my YouTube channel, uh I even name it with AI in it, in the name of the channel, so that way people know like this is an AI driven channel. So yeah, so it's can all of those things be hidden and I don't disclose anything about AI? Yes. And very few people would know that it's AI behind the scene. But as a user, like we get to choose to disclose that information. And so in my case, I disclose it. And so, I don't think it's an ethical issues. But it's scary.
It is
Of
scary space, but we are
it's
stepping
Yeah,
into basically. So
yeah.
that's the reason I think it's such a foreign concept to a lot of people. And a lot of people are not embracing it, which is fine. And I was talking to this AI developer in one of the AI conferences that I attended earlier this month or last month.
Mhm.
And then she was telling me not everybody, not whole populations can embrace AI. So it's gonna be like top 5-10% only, and rest people they will just come and go just like usual, like nothing happened, and it will take
Right.
like real long time to embrace this new thing, the new phenomena, basically. So what do you
Yeah.
see in your crystal ball from a real estate perspective,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
AI
yeah.
has in store for us.
Yeah, AI is like the internet times 10 or 100.
I agree.
If I'll give you an example. I mean, if you're using Facebook right now in any way, shape, or form, you're already using AI because Facebook now giving you a summary, right? A summary of all the comments whenever you're looking at a post. And so and Facebook's doing that, Google's doing that. So when you search on Google right now, there's the very first section of your search result is an AI answer. It's not your search results anymore. So AI, Google's AI is answering your questions for you. So you don't even have to look at the rest of the search results to have the answer you're looking for. So all of these AI technologies are built. If you drive a Tesla car, it's already AI driven.
It is
Yeah,
100%. I know.
right. So you, all of these AIs are being embedded already or going to be soon in everything that we do. And so whether or not you realize it or not, you are a consumer of AI. Not
That's
something you can escape. Yeah. And so I think that in the future, AI is just as much of the internet as anything else. And so it's not, yeah, it's here to stay. I mean, all of these big companies, billion-dollar companies, are putting in billions of dollars to invest into the AI technology. Any major companies that are not doing something about AI right now, like they're gonna be so left behind. They'll be like the Sears of the world, where
yeah,
they're
it could
so
happen.
forgotten. Yeah.
That's true. But the thing is, the human factor has to be there because a lot of people are scared that if the AI is going to take over the like machine is going to take over the world. So there is no more human element left there. But the human factor has to be there because that's what I was arguing with this lady. I know we are out of time, but I wanted to share this with you. And I was saying that, the human emotional element has to be there. She's like, no, AI is going to be as emotional as you want to be. So they're going to have that all human touch in there too, in the AI
Yeah.
itself. So we'll see what transpires over the course of time. But right now, I'm going to ask you one more golden nugget from my audience. You already shared tons with us, but share one more golden nugget, whether it's mindset or the real estate investing, whatever you feel is going to add value to the audience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it would just be an encouragement, for you to, if you're not already using AI, to start using it. Like I said, anything that you're currently doing, I don't care what it is. If it could be like, deciding on where to eat or what to cook today. Ask yourself, how can I use AI to help me with this? And go and practice. There's a lot of AI tools out there. Google is doing a good job with upgrading all of their AI stuff now. There's a most AI don't have real-time data, but there's a search engine called Perplexity. Perplexity, it can
Perplexity.
search,
Yeah.
yeah, it can search real-time data like real news.
Mhm.
And yeah, so just the point being is that whatever you do, practice it, get your kids to practice it. It's here to stay, and it can take your productivity, oh my gosh, so many times better, so yeah.
Yeah, I agree on that. I think ChatGPT 4.0, it allows you to search or surf the internet as well. It can find the information for you as well. So Perplexity is also a good AI tool out there. So this brings us to our rapid fire round. I'm going to ask you 5 questions and you're
Mhm.
going to answer it in one word or one sentence only. Are you ready?
Okay, yep.
All right. So what is one of the most important thing that you've learned in your life and how did your life change after learning it?
Oh wow, that's such a big one, but I'm a huge student. I love learning. When I was a kid, my dad used to wake all of us up at 5 a.m. in the morning to study. So learning.
Yeah, I remember those days too. My parents were like, 5 o'clock in the morning. I remember that. So share one good book that you like to recommend to my audience other than Rich Dad Poor Dad.
Yeah. Um, oh gosh. There's a book I'm listening to right now called The Untethered Soul. So it's more of a spiritual type book.
Yes.
Um yeah, great book. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great book. I have that book too, by the way. And you said a very good thing over here. You said, I'm listening to the book. So another AI tool right there, you can listen to the book versus reading the books. Good tip right there. In one word, what does life mean to you?
A life means, living, and in all aspect of that word, right? If so uh are you alive, right? Are you alive, or are you just like doing things mundane over and over again, and you're feeling like there's no purpose? And so yeah, so really living, like truly living. Are you having fun? Are you empowered? Are you doing what you're called to do, what your purpose is here? Yeah.
I love that answer. Seriously, that's what I tell everybody, whether somebody asks for my advice or don't ask for my advice. My advice to everybody is just to live, do not forget to live in the chaos called life because everybody gets caught up with this thing, that thing. So don't do this and that all the time. Just learn to live and you will get the success. What is your biggest passion?
Passion,
Uh-huh.
I have a lot. I love yeah, I love business. I love helping especially like young people. That's why I have my Team Millionaire Club. I There's a children charity that I support a lot. So yeah, those are some of my passions.
Like that. If you can turn back in time and talk to your younger self, what would you tell yourself and why?
Mm. So good. Yeah, I mean, I would tell myself to, to not be so critical on
Oh,
myself.
oh,
Uh, we all grow. My dad was, oh my gosh, the most critical. He's an abusive dad, but he's super critical of all of us. And so I grew up with that, and then I find myself being so critical to myself. So these days I have to consciously learn self-love, and and encourage myself, and tell myself, the good things that my best friend would tell me, not my worst friend would tell me, right? So yeah.
that's a really good one. I had another guest in one of my episodes, and they was talking about the same thing too, because I think we just beat up ourselves without any reason. So we learn to forgive ourselves, give ourselves some grace,
Yeah.
and just believe in yourself. Thank you for sharing that. So how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, so the best way, so I have a weekly virtual meetup that I run called the Capital Raising Party. So just go to capitalraisingparty.com. That'll be the best way. Yeah.
Thanks, Tim. I really enjoyed our conversation today.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much for having me on.